All right, good morning. Well, morning for me, depending on when you're getting to watch this. I'm finally back home after a couple weeks on the road, 5 city tour. Let me tell you, that was a lot. Um, and I'm taking a moment right now because maybe you haven't heard an update recently. You've heard from me, but not an update on what we're working on. And so I wanted to do that because it's not like we're not doing anything, right? Because we are. So we've got some really interesting things that we're working on right now. I want to share some of those with you, and quite honestly too, if this any of this is interesting to you, reach out to me. Let me know that this is interesting as well. So if you've been around for a while, I say all the freaking time that you've got to be obsessed with your audience. If you're going to be creating content, you've got to be obsessed with your audience. And it's something that we take to heart, and it's something that we really, really believe in, because once you're obsessed with your audience, you really understand your audience's pain points, and you can really talk to them in a language that meets them where they are. And so we've been building ideal customer profiles, and I've been giving away ideal customer profile outlines for a little while. And if you've seen me on the road recently, you may have heard me talk a little bit about this as well. But we've got a new tool that we've built, and it helps you build your ideal customer profile using AI. Now, is it perfect? No, because AI is doing it. But let me tell you something. It's going to get you to about 85% accuracy. Right? And what do I mean by that is what it's going to generate for you is a multi-page. When I say multi, 10, 12, 15-page document giving you information and insights. I mean, down to what podcasts, what TV shows they read, things like what's going on internally that can affect them. For example, they may be going through a transition in life right now, dealing with something with their kids that's affecting how they interact with you in business. I mean, it digs really deep. And so we've been working on that for probably 6, 7 months now. And we've got it to a place where it's really, 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 really great. And produces really great ideal customer profiles that are really blowing people away. So that's one of the things we've been quietly working on. The next thing is, and this was, you've probably heard me talk about, the fact that as we get better at things, right, problems become more complex. And one of the problems that have become more complex for us is data. We just more and more and more data. And this is a byproduct of actually knowing your customer really well. Because as you know your customer really well, you start to understand that there's even more data that you can analyze, and more things to look at, and more questions that you can ask. And it becomes harder. It just flat out becomes harder because there's so much to look at. And at the end of the day, we're trying to understand people's behavior, right? So we build these ideal customer profiles, but then we go out in the real world and we're now linking actual behaviors to the ideal customer profile, and so that we can continue to ideate and learn more and more and more about that customer, because it's a relationship, and all relationships grow over time. So we've been building over the last really about 2 months an analysis tool, and it's doing pretty well. It's not perfect yet. It's doing pretty well right now, where you can give it a lot, and I mean a lot of data, months and months of data, and rows and rows and rows and rows and rows of data, and it will analyze that data and give you information. But it's not just that, okay? Because there are a lot of tools that just will analyze data and spit back information to you. But the thing here is, as business owners, we are always goal oriented. There's always a goal we're trying to hit, or there's always a place we're trying to go. And that's the case often when we're looking at data, right? So let me give you an example. Because you're consuming it right now, we have a newsletter. And that newsletter exists on Beehive, which is our email newsletter, and also on LinkedIn. And so one of the things we've been looking at is how do we grow our LinkedIn newsletter and the subscribers of our LinkedIn newsletter. And so we now have 6 months of LinkedIn data, some of it related to the newsletter, some of it not related to the newsletter, a lot related to the subscribers of the newsletter, that we are sticking into the tool and saying, hey, our goal is to grow subscribers. And so this is the one of the differences here in this tool we're building is we set a goal. We say, hey, here's all of this data, and our goal is this. Now, based on this data, tell us what is the key KPI, the one KPI that is affecting the goal that we're trying to get to. And it analyzes and it comes back and it gives us that KPI and then suggestions on how to improve that KPI. It even tells us when, you say you want to increase subscribers, you've given me this much data, but if I also had this data, and this data, I'd be able to give you even better information. So that's the AI tool we've been building for analysis, and the purpose there is just getting better. We've built these systems for our clients that move people through the customer journey, right? And help create leads. Well, we'd love to understand that even better. We'd love to be able to predict that even better. And so we've created this tool to kind of help us get to some of that. Like I said, it's still early with the tool. We're still doing internal testing and stuff with it. We've used it on some people's external data who sent me data, and I thank you if you're watching this and you're one of those people who allowed us to use your data to prove that it is producing outside of our own ecosystem good results as well. So those are a couple of things that we've been really working on, and working on AI agents to do those things, right? Because it's all about understanding your customer and creating predictability. Because let's face it, we all need sales. Ain't one of us don't want sales. And for all of us, whether it's paid media, whether it's social media that's organic, whether it's your website, we're all doing marketing of some sort, and we would love to know how effective it is and what's affecting what. And so understanding our ideal audience and then building this tool that does the analysis is our attempt to help us get better at that for our clients. So that's a lot of what we've been working on behind the scenes, and really making some really great strides. And so I've been proud of the team. I've been proud of the work we've been doing in collecting the data, looking at the data, asking better questions, because that's what it's all about. It's asking better questions. You get better answers, and we can serve people even better. So those are two of the things that we've been really working on recently.